COVID has changed the world forever. In the fight to contain the spread of the virus, we've been asked to do a great many things. We've had to endure hard lockdowns, social distancing, hand sanitising. We've had to wear face masks and, of course, endure the COVID testing. It's the ongoing COVID testing that forms part of the defence against managing the spread of the virus. Swab testing and lab-based PCR are considered the absolute gold standard of testing. But since COVID, biotech companies like Editorial Diagnostics, for example, have been at the forefront of developing 15-minute rapid testing kits. First with their HIV tests, and now, of course, with rapid antigen testing and antibody testing kits in the fight against COVID. The antigen tests identify if a person has an active COVID infection, whereas the antibody tests identify if a person has had previous exposure to the virus and build up an antibody response to the infection. PCR tests typically take a day or more, making them unsustainable for rapid turnaround test environments. A 95% plus accuracy is expected for PCR-based tests, and around about the 90% accuracy mark for the rapid antigen antibody testing. The accuracy, of course, of the tests is similar, and the ability of antigen testing to control the spread of the virus is equally, if not more effective, because of the immediacy of the results, which enables broader community testing and results to be delivered in settings where currently it's just not feasible to test. Atomo has led the way in the delivery of these rapid tests to help in the fight against COVID. In Australia, Atomo has secured TGA approval for both its rapid antibody and rapid antigen tests. And while earlier this year we saw there was a flurry by mainly Chinese biotech companies to get their products to market first, it actually did more harm than good, especially around the perception of the quality and the validity of the rapid test kits and their accuracy. Now, being first to market doesn't always mean that it's the best, especially in a pandemic. Some companies, like Atomo, were pretty strategic in how they went about their business, developing these rapid testing solutions. But Atomo is the only manufacturer to have received Australian TGA approval for an HIV self-test, and since the COVID infection or contagion began, it has been working very hard on securing TGA approval for COVID rapid tests. The company has been more concerned about the quality and validity of its products rather than being first to market. And we've all seen the stir that created initially. It wasn't very good. But rapid testing is now an increasingly recognised and vital part of the global response in the fight against COVID. And although Australia has been relatively slow to actually implement rapid testing, countries like the United States, the UK, Slovakia, India, the Netherlands, and even China are all extensively using rapid testing and antibody antigen kits as part of their defence strategy around COVID. And yet, Australia, think about it, a country with one of the most outstanding healthcare systems in the world, isn't doing it. And we need to ask why that's the case. It's a question the federal government and the Federal Minister for Health, Greg Hunt, need to answer. But what is clear is that companies like Atomo are finding it extremely difficult to actually engage with the Minister's office. It seems a cone of silence or a wall of exclusion has been drawn around both the Minister and his advisors. No engagement, and the lobbying power of the pathology groups may well be part of the problem. The line of communication must always be open to Mr. Hunt's office and that of his advisors. He simply can't pick and choose who he speaks to or who he responds to via email when it just suits him. To me, it seems crazy that in the fight against COVID, the federal government has no clear health policy around the use of rapid antibody and antigen testing. No appetite for it, it seems. And no desire to engage in discussion with Australian companies like Atomo, who have already executed supply agreements for their products in France, India, and the United States. Their proven partnership with the French company NG Biotech and through them with the Pasteur Institute, demonstrates that their tests are world class and increasingly in high demand overseas. The refusal to engage by Minister Hunt and his office is a failure to offer Australians the best strategies to counter and contain COVID and allow the country to achieve a faster return to normality and to reconnect with the outside world. The time has come for Minister Hunt to start engaging, to remove the cone of silence and to behave like a minister that's meant to serve Australians first, rather than the lobby groups of the public health pathology powerhouses.